So, welcome. This is going to be our third episode. No, it's going to be our fourth episode of Drunk in Public. And I'm here with NTX Beer, Jerry.
Yeah.
So you run the page, you take care of everything.
Yeah. It was a Twitter account, and it started really as a Twitter account. And I just was connecting with someone who lived in Austin. I didn't even know the person. They just came up to Dallas, and they stayed at a hotel, and they got a beer from a hotel bar. And they were saying, okay, this is expensive, and you don't have any local craft here in Dallas? And I'm like, you were just a few miles from Luck, where you could get
Everything.
Yeah, everything, and especially with their specialty, you could have gotten all the local craft. And so that sort of got some things rolling with NTX Beer. Of course, I was reading the book by Brian Brown and Paul Hightower on North Texas beer, so that was also a good start to kind of finding out where things were in North Texas.
You know a lot more than me.
Well, I just wanted to know what was going on, and so it became just a passion project, and it just has kind of grown from there.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. That's completely opposite of how I got involved. But you were nice enough to invite us, Dallas Beer Talk, to your bottle share.
Yeah.
That we had at Intrinsic. So I want to give a shout out to Intrinsic. Great food.
Indeed.
And a great venue. The guys were super nice.
Exactly. Carrie and Craig, I really appreciate them making space for us in Intrinsic. And it was a fun time. I loved the variety, the people, the diversity of people. It was really great.
No, that's definitely something I'm falling in love with craft beer. So my first bottle share was with Dallas Beer Squad and Sean.
Yeah.
And that's a wide variety group as well.
Yeah, for sure.
And they were the first one I experienced. And then, which I feel bad for, I didn't bring any of my equipment on yours on Sunday, because from just the Facebook thread, it was such a smaller
number. Yeah.
Number was small, so I was like, there's gonna be a few people there. I'll bring my phone so I can take pictures and hang out, and so I could just meet people at least and talk to people. Right. I still wanted to hang out, and I get there, it is a massive crowd and a massive amount of beer. There was at least 30 people there.
Yeah. I think it surprised everyone, and I was happily surprised with just what we were able to do, and people spreading the word. So I'm very thankful for Sean with Dallas Beer Squad spreading the word. I'm very thankful for the Dallas Beer Club also spreading the word. So it was just exciting and then also fellow Beerstagrammers who were sharing it on their pages and things like that.
My friend Jacob, who's a home brewer,
exactly, and Jacob
came by and shared it to me too, not knowing that we had talked before.
Yes, yeah, and I guess it's the thing I also love to see, that small world where people already know each other, and you see those connections already there. Like, great, okay, this is good.
Yeah.
And I, of course, in host mode, I'm like, okay, well, I just want to make sure everybody else is getting beer, so let me do this and let me do that. And
being a host is difficult. If it's at home or a bigger venue, host, you have a lot more you're thinking about. And you still want to have fun too and see your friends.
Exactly. I mean, some things I learned. There was one person who was almost going to leave because they just didn't see anyone they knew. Then someone else reached out to them and said, hey, come on in. And as they left, they said, we had a great time. Thank you for reaching out. So just little things like that. It means a lot.
No, it was awesome.
Yeah.
So from this meeting a random person in a hotel bar to starting a bottle share, what made you want to keep going further and further? Is it the people, or is it just the love of the community?
I enjoy.
I kind of answer the same question, but yeah.
No, that's fine. I enjoy the community that I've connected with craft beer. Has really meant a lot, and there were some friends there that I've had, smaller shares with, and I said, you know what? I'd love to host a public share. Again, big shout out to Sean with Dallas Beer Squad, Sean and X, with the work that they're doing, because I got a chance to see how to navigate that. And what I wanted to do as far as this brunch thing, I said, okay, this is cool. This is Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. It's brunch. We got food here. Let's go ahead and have some bottles, and let's go from there. And then looks like there are some more people who want to do that again, so I'm sure we'll definitely do it again. With NTX Beer, as far as other things, I really just want to keep people, I kind of want to be that cheerleader and I will use that word. I'll use
That's fine.
cheerleader for North Texas beer scene. I don't think our scene gets hyped enough, and I know there are a lot of people who really don't know the availability of beer that's in our scene.
Definitely growing. I think Austin probably gets the most shout outs. Just for the volume of breweries. Me and Drew talked about this on the map. So we have a roadmap of breweries we want to hit up, right?
Yeah.
So because now we're taking this on the road.
Yeah.
We want to take this on the road. We want to hang out with people. We want to meet more people. So we have a roadmap. Of course, we're gonna do everything Dallas first, and like people who showed us love first, like Benny Cola's, Oak Highlands Brewery, Manhattan, so and so on. Everyone who's been on the show, we want to go to them first. But we want to see everybody else. Just on the map alone in Austin, when you look at beers registered, like craft breweries registered, and I forgot the gastropubs and stuff like that. There's at least 50 breweries, and then X amount of other things like gastropubs and growler-filled places.
Right.
And it's insane. It's insane in Austin. So I get why they get a love for that small area has that many things. But there's plenty of people here.
There's a lot of people here, and there's a lot of styles available here now. I mean, I know that Turning Point just coming on the scene. It's amazing that they just got on the scene here in March, and the stuff that they're cranking out is just like
everybody. They have a great venue.
Exactly.
Great venue. It's open. It's beautiful. But they also crank out a lot of different things.
Yes. So and then with all the places that are coming up, I know Steam Theories just dropped some of their brews. Celestial's on the way.
Is it not Oak Highlands? Oak Cliff is coming up.
So
soon.
yeah, we've got a lot of stuff that's coming up, and so I'm excited about that, right? And I think of it as here's a way for you to know if you're looking to do beercations or beer tourism. Well, here are the places that are here in North Texas where if you want to come through, some breweries you can add onto that mix.
I have a question for you. Okay. You don't have to answer it.
All right.
And it's not I want to ask you like top 5, maybe even top 10.
Okay.
Not a particular order, not one's better than the other.
Okay.
Like you're gonna come to Dallas for work.
Yeah.
What would be your first 5 breweries you should hit up? Because I've been thinking about that too, as far as like, if I was gonna tell someone to come here, who do you go to first? And I'm biased, so I want to see.
It depends. One, I would ask kind of what styles they're into.
Fair enough. That's a fair question.
Because if they're into particular styles, then I'll say, okay, well, you want to go to these ones, and
they're doing well.
And then, as opposed to other ones, like so, like say if they're into hazy, super hazy. The first hazies that come to my mind are Turning Point, are Tups, and are actually, I'll say 4. I'm going to say Turning Point and then Tups. I'm going to say On Rotation because On Rotation does a lot of
good stuff.
Yeah. And I'm also going to say Three Nations. Now, with that, you got a wide area with that. Yeah. So, go ahead and have your Uber or Lyft money ready because we just kind of.
And it's going a little bit of. At least you're going to see all the varieties of the DFW area with that little trip right there.
Exactly, with that little trip right there. Or if if you're coming into town and you want to stay in the design district, you've got some business meetings going on, and I don't want to stray too far. I mean, down this road. I mean, we're here at Petticolas, but you've got Texas Ale Project, and you've got here, and you've got Pegasus City, and you've got Noble
I forgot
Ray.
Pegasus is over here. I thought Pegasus is on the other side.
That's right. It's right down the way, and then Pegasus City and Cidercade. So you've got a whole row of breweries right here. And that's just the brewery. It's not even like Pie Tap and some of the other places you can get beer. Like
another place that has craft beer here on stuff, and then Craft and Growlers is not too far from here.
Exactly.
I'm trying to think who else is nearby. There's so many people nearby.
Yeah, exactly. If you go, like, say, if you're staying in Deep Ellum, of course, Brain Dead, you're going to be doing Deep Ellum, you're going to be doing Craft and Growler, and plus there's other places in between where you can get some good craft beer. So it really depends on what type of beer they're into and what side of town they're staying on. So if they have to minimize movement, I can help them out.
That's you're right. There's a lot of ways to go with it.
Right.
How about what's 2 or 3 if you have to say what represents Texas style of craft brewery? Which is
like North Texas style?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there's a lot of different.
Because what is North Texas? Because I've had this conversation with brewers and stuff, and some people don't like the word Texas IPA or because they're like, what does that mean? We don't. There's not a style that people follow by.
And I would probably agree with that because I don't know if if Texas alone has created a style on their own of IPA. I mean, I believe that many people either are very much into West Coast or very much into hazy, or so they kind
The
of
juicy East Coast idea,
exactly.
stuff like that. Yeah.
So I mean, I usually see that. Now, as far as I'm trying to think, if they were to do a place that sort of takes on a Texas character, if they want a brewery that
That's a good
sort
way
of
to
has
describe
that,
it. Yeah, okay,
I mean, you could probably go. I think Raw and Sons has a lot of Texas character, like
They have the
specifically
actual
Texas
Longhorns in there.
Yes, yeah. And I'm sure there are a couple of other ones that are escaping my mind right now. Plus, what's interesting about North Texas is that I'm doing my best to do Dallas and Fort Worth, and of course the things in the mid cities. But there are a few places like on the edges that
Well,
I've
there's
yet
so
to go.
You got McKinney. I
Right.
think that's what, isn't that what Tubbs are?
Tubbs is in McKinney.
McKinney.
Right.
Then you-
Franconia's in McKinney. Yeah.
And then you have other places that go further north. You got further east.
Exactly.
You got further west,
Right.
south.
And south. The places furthest I've gone south is Railport Brewing out of Waxahachie. Really got some great stuff there. In fact, they've got a nice hazy.
Doesn't Mansfield have a new brewery too?
Yes.
I feel like I saw that on the map.
Exactly.
And I was shocked by that because I didn't know Mansfield had a brewery.
Well, yeah, I know they have one, and it's slipping my mind right now.
Same
so.
here. So, but you were saying that one in Hatchie has a great hazy IPA?
Yeah, hazy Railport.
Railport.
It's called August Haze. They also have it's Rail Yard Ghost, which is a whiskey porter, whiskey stout, something. It's very good. I mean, so I was there for their grand opening, and I'll be happy to go down there and check them out again.
Nah, fair enough. There's so many things going on here. It's a loaded question to ask, like say pick 5. But I've been thinking about it, right? But I have, see why I really don't want to write it myself or like make a video for it, because I'm biased.
Well, let's walk into that bias. Let's step into that.
So number one, Manhattan Project for me. When they finally open up, I love Manhattan
now,
Project.
definitely. Now, only reason why I hadn't mentioned Manhattan Project because their place is still on. It's still coming.
Yeah.
But when they open up, for sure.
I just like, I learned a lot from Carl and Misty, and I have yet to reach out to them again. I met them over the weekend again, and I told them I'd call them, and I haven't, so I'm sorry. But by the time this video comes out, I would have already reached out to you.
That's it.
But Manhattan Project, I just learned a lot from them, and before talking to Carl, I learned that, before him I used to say, I just don't like it, and I don't have a really good description. So that episode with Carl, he was breaking it down and saying, what did you don't like about this?
Yeah.
And what you like about this?
Right.
At the end of that conversation, I learned that it's not about the style. I'm more into balance, and it doesn't work together. Because I'm into cooking, and I don't like spicy food. The reason I'm not really into big spicy food or any one other style that's overpowering is because I don't like it to overpower. I want it to work together. Now, if you taste pineapple when you cook with it, you taste coconut, whatever you do, if you taste it, that's a part of it. You're cooking with it.
Right.
But does it work well together through the meal? And that's how I learned word from Carl. And then I feel like Manhattan Project and his guy, I think is the head brewer. I'm saying Jeffrey, but it's not his name.
It's Jeremy.
Jeremy. Jeremy, I think Carl and Jeremy work together, or maybe just Jeremy saying that he wants well-balanced beers, and he does everything they do is well-balanced.
It is.
The Atomic Alliance they worked on is phenomenal. They have a porter there that's phenomenal. Coconut porter that's phenomenal. They do Wise Monkey.
The Wise Monkey that just dropped the Belgian Golden Strong.
That's it.
Delicious.
I'm not a big fan of Belgian Strongs, but that was good.
That's delicious.
That is good. So that's why I'm biased for that.
Yeah.
3 Nations.
Okay. Yep.
And I learned from Gavin that I'm a big fan. If you tell me this is what it tastes like and exactly what it tastes like, I'm gonna love it more. So the Lady Luck Ochata beer and the Banana Fosters, they came out. You read the name and you're like, okay, I'm gonna expect this.
Right.
And then it tastes like that. I'm like, oh my God, this is beautiful.
Yeah. Lady Luck. It was so nice. I had that when I first had it. I was like, wait a minute. This
makes you look at it again.
I need more of that. So yeah, I like it. So we got Manhattan Project beer, and then we've got 3 Nations.
Petty Colas would be my 3rd.
Yeah.
Outside of like, they make good beer, make really good beer. It's not to say I don't like any of their beer. It's not one beer that points out to me that I really love.
Yeah.
Like Velvet Ham is a good beer. I really love Sit Down or Sit You Down. It's a really good beer. They make tons of other great beers, but it's not one that I say I'm always gonna buy or I gravitate to every time. I always pick and choose and I move around the menu all the time. What I do love is the environment here. The whole setup, which I want to capture recording one day of this whole place so people can see it. It's a friendly environment that you come hang out and chill. And then the people here, especially the brewers that I had the chance to meet, all of them, from the distribution guys, to the brewers, to, I haven't yet met Michael, but I feel like it starts from the top down. The culture they allowed to build here starts with him, and people being friendly and free and happy and working together and want to drink and hang out together. And you feel that energy come across you, and I feel like that works its way to the crowd.
I agree.
And I feel like it's a great place to hang out and drink.
Michael, when I met Michael for the first time at the 6th anniversary this past December.
Okay.
But I didn't know that he actually is the voice of Pedicolas on Twitter.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
And one of the things about, I was working with a company and doing social media marketing for a while, and one of the things you really can appreciate is a voice that's just clear and honest and open on any social platform, but especially Twitter, right? Because
you
sometimes
cut through the bullshit.
Well, yeah, and you sometimes can get people who will hide behind their name and say something, and someone didn't agree with one of the beers. I want to say it was Golden Opportunity.
Good beer. And
Michael said, of course, me not knowing it was him, but I know Pedicolas, he said, okay, it's a Kolsch. Feel free to come back and try some of these different styles and see if those work well for you. And it was very interesting because the way it was written before, you could very easily get catty or get like, okay, I'm going to snap on that person. But it was professional. And it was very like, okay, appreciate your feedback, come back in and see us. And I just really appreciated that and had always followed him. And so I actually had a chance to thank him. I said, wow, thank you very much for being kind of an example of what you should be doing on social media. So.
I'm also surprised that he is the guy, because I would have never guessed that. If that was $1 million question, do you think Michael Pedicolas runs the social media, especially on Twitter? I'm like, no. Right.
You know?
It's somebody else who runs it.
And he wrote a tweet, he said, it's always been me since day one on
That
Twitter.
is interesting. That's awesome, though. That's also awesome. But I feel like I've never had a chance to meet him. I've met him through here. It's not like he's never here. He's always here, especially for the soccer games and events. He always comes and supports. And
Which is also a fun time to catch Michael during the soccer games.
But so I've met him, but we never had a chance to really talk. I've talked to the Brewers, Chad and Chris, and they. But through them, I feel like I have an understanding of Michael Pedicolas. The way they talk fondly of him, and the way they're also great people to hang out with and get to know and stuff like that. So that's why I feel like this is a good place to come see.
Yeah.
So that'll be my third. Now I'm always flip-flopping between like 4 and 5.
So we will take these as the top 3 were set. These could go either way.
Yeah. So I say breweries, but then I get not confused, but I get debate with myself. Do I do growler fuel stations or do I do gastropubs? Like these all things are also phenomenal here. So. But as far as this conversation, I'm trying to think of breweries on top of my head, but there's so many that I like. But the bias will be, the argument is always between Noble Ray, Bitter Sisters, then I have, is it not Community? Is it Community? Community in Fort Worth. And then but those, reason why I like Community is because they try things and they do it well.
And you said Community in Fort Worth?
Yeah.
Now,
not Community, Collective.
Gotcha.
Also, you will learn about me through this show is I'm bad with names.
Okay, I mean it's okay.
I'm bad with names.
When you I just want to make sure, I was like, okay, let's make sure
when you said that, I was like, let me think about that. Collective in Fort Worth. They do some weird stuff that I may not be a fan of, but I appreciate the effort.
Sure.
I'm not a big fan of sours and things like that.
See, and that's another thing. I mean, you were mentioning as far as going to, like, if someone were coming into town, if they're staying in Fort Worth, I mean, you've got Collective and you got Hot Fusion right close by.
Right,
you got
door.
Wild Acre down the way, and just a little short way, you got Martin House. So I mean, and Panther.
Panther Island's over there.
Panther Island. In fact, you got Panther Island actually closer to those 3.
And then that's one thing. And then I haven't been to Turning Point. I haven't been to Tubbs, so I debate that because I've tried their beer, but I haven't been there.
You gotta go. You gotta go. I mean, I know I tell people this too, if they are going to Turning Point, let's say if they don't feel like driving out there, they can always hop the TRE and then take a lift from the TRE, like the Bell station or the Richland Hill station from TRE to Turning Point.
See, I don't mind driving. I just I reached out to Turning Point. I want to thank everybody who I talked to to do a show there. And I'm behind on my emails and my communication with people. But I will be there. We will be there. But my co-host loves it, and through his enthusiasm, because him and his wife goes there, I have appreciation, and I have drank some of their beers. We've tried them on the show, and it's phenomenal. But I haven't been there myself. But Turning Point will be on there like 4 or 5, and I think that's probably rounds of the list of. But the love for me, where it's biased, and which I know is biased, is the first 3 I mentioned. Penny Colas, because I love the energy from people I've met here, and I've worked with them a lot over the year. Manhattan Project, and then 3 Nations. Those are the ones that I know that are biased. I have a great affinity towards.
Of course, and they make some great stuff. I mean, if anything, I'm tripping that Manhattan Project is coming upon 2 years now.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, so I mean, did it start on SoundCloud first, and then go to Facebook, or it was all together? Okay.
All simultaneously, it grew. Like we started it together. So I knew I wanted to do a podcast, and I knew I wanted to be my friends.
Gotcha.
So I made this whole platform, and it originally was called Hater Hour. It was the original name.
Why was it Hater Hour? I kind of wanted to know that.
So the original host that I wanted to really work with, and I love all my friends. It's not like I didn't want to, but the original ones that I really didn't really see anymore, only through messages, is my 2 best friends. And we're the type of guys that when we meet up, all we do is hate on each other. But it's not with no maliciousness to it. I get it. It's all love. And I think that's funny. I think my 2 friends are really funny.
Right.
And they're really smart. And the way it takes me a while also to realize they offended me or trying to get at me. Because sometimes they say something, I'm like, oh, no, thank you. And I sit there and think about it, I'm like,
that subtle art of shade, like, oh, wait a minute, did I just get?
Did you?
Wow,
yeah.
You did that, okay.
So I really wanted to, I miss them and I wanted to see them as much as I used to because we get older, they have families.
Of course.
And then I was like, no, I wanted to do that. And then that was an unstable change. And I was like, well, since I already have this hour set to the side that I'm paying for, and I was talking to Andrew and Kirsty, which was the original 2 hosts, we also have really a different kind of conversation. We had more in-depth personal conversation about life. And they have really different perspective from me. And I was struggling trying to understand them. Because I see the world very straightforward, either yes or no, black and white. Not that I don't understand gray, but I feel like personally you have to know how to say yes or no and move things. And that's a longer story.
Sure.
But I'm like, this is really good conversation. I want to hang out with them. Okay. They wouldn't do it. So I was like, how can I get them on the show?
Wow.
I knew Drew liked beer a lot, and I don't drink beer. I never drank beer before the show, really. Of course, I take shots. I drink a beer between shots.
And that's why I remember some of the earlier episodes, because you told the audience, like, beer is not really my thing. I'm more liquor. And so you were kind of learning some different things on the show. And I was fascinated. I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. This is actually someone taking those steps on camera and actually learning those things. So it's cool to see from that time now that there are actually breweries that you actually really enjoy and places that you really are. That's cool. That's awesome.
What made me stand out, I want to get this back to you. So let's switch this back. So you have a great affinity for, not a great affinity, you can see the love you have for the people that came hang out on the bottle share.
Yeah.
And it's not like you may not know everybody on a personal level.
No.
But you have a great energy about you.
Yeah, thank you. I just felt comfortable. I mean, it was a mix of friends, and I'm always kind of like in the host mode, want to have some friends meet these friends, and I know these home brewers, and I know this taproom manager, and I hear his media, and hear people who.
But you want people to be friendly. You don't want no one in the corner, and that's the thing about being a host is hard, which I don't like doing it.
Exactly. I really want. I do everything I can to kind of bring everybody together. And you'll connect with some different people, and I also wanted everybody to come no matter the type of beer you had, right? Sean said it best on the interview with him about people if they have a certain type of beer.
Yeah, if you have a $300 beer or more, they'll bring something to match it.
Right.
You know, they want to make sure it's equivalent there.
Right. And there was
some fantastic beers there.
And there was also some beers, because I also want people to come, even if it's beer that you can maybe get in the store. Maybe it's something I've never had though. Like I brought some Turning Point there because I knew some people hadn't been out to Bedford.
Some people brought B52.
Yeah.
That was really good. Jacob and we were giving his friend a little shit. I didn't realize that's what happened. He was coming to his first bottle share, Jacob the home brewer.
Yeah.
Strange Brew, which they entered in competition in Deep Ellum Brewery in September the 3rd.
Cool. Very cool.
They're going to be entering their first competition, so I'll be there vlogging with them.
Most definitely.
But they came up with a friend that he was like, well, I like Deep Ellum Stout. They have that. I forget the name of the stout. And he brought that to the bottle share. He's like, I don't know if anybody had Deep Ellum, but here's the stout. And I was like, that's cute. And then we were giving him busting his balls about it, but that's awesome. I mean, I drank them. I definitely drank them. I like it a lot.
All right. And it's good though. And I just look at how big the Metroplex is, and sometimes you don't get a chance to get out. And so if you bring whatever you bring, someone hasn't tried that. So share it. And if that builds community between you two or between him and somebody else, guess what? You've achieved what we need to achieve. You will try some other stuff and you'll try some other things local.
What I do appreciate it is that no one was unwelcoming. It's a little weird in the beginning when you got to try to find seats and sit down. That's the obvious hurdle in the beginning of things. But once the bottles started flowing and everybody started hanging out, and then we're sharing bottles between each other, people walking around like, have you had this yet? Because we had a few scattered tables.
Exactly. So that was kind of what I wanted to do, was kind of say, okay, look, I see this bottle's open over here, and everyone's had a little bit, let me take this over here, and then start doing it on their own. It's like, okay, hey, have you had this? Have you had this? And then everyone gets good.
Yeah. And then you get beer happy.
Exactly. That's what the hops do.
People like you, and I want to thank you and Sean and the community, is what made me want to get more involved. To tell you this, I'm going to be very honest. I'm a very easily irritating person because I'm also easily irritated. So I know I irritate other people. So I know this about me. So I try to minimize my reaction with people.
Interesting you say that. Wow. Okay, so I'm reading a book right now called When Things Fall Apart. And I apologize if I mispronounced her name. Pema Chodron is her name.
That's a tough name.
Yeah, Pema Chodron. The book is dealing just with how to deal with the feeling of groundlessness when things are just sort of not going the way they need to go. She was recalling a divorce that she was going through where things just felt like I don't know where my footing is. And one of the things I was reading about last night was about compassion, and how she was saying how compassion, some people think of compassion, okay, if someone's they need some food, or need a place to stay or something like that, but the bigger act of compassion, as she talked about, was compassion with yourself. Because to the extent that you don't allow yourself to be, that you either can't forgive yourself, or you get, there's something that irritates you, the more you also irritate it with other people. It's like there's some things even within ourselves that we just don't, I guess ultimately we're not compassionate enough with ourselves. I didn't think about that before. When I read it, I was like, wait a minute, I have to sit with that. Appreciate that.
And then people like you make me stay in the community, because people like you who I've met was the complete opposite of what I perceived as the beer guy.
Yeah.
When I tell the story all the time, when I thought of the beer guy, I was thinking like the guy with the hair bun and snooty saying this is not IPA, whatever, just being an asshole. And there's people out there like that.
Of course.
But I've been fortunate enough, me and Drew have been fortunate enough to meet more people who are more welcoming. And as long as we're honest.
Sure.
Drew, we call him the beer guru and the beer wrangler.
Yeah.
He knows more about beer than I do, but he's also honest. Like, I don't know the homebrew process. I don't know the ins and outs to say like, I'm gonna be the beer person that know everything. I just like good beer. I know what I like. And as far as me, my avenue is like, I don't know anything. I just want to try something good.
I'm the same way. I mean, for all the things I don't know, like if I taste something and I'm not exactly sure what I'm tasting, I have no problem asking. I'll say, what is this? I think I'm tasting this, but is this it really? I have no problem asking. I guess I'm learning now. If I'm not sure, just ask.
I think that's the whole community of people where it comes from, like you and Sean or Petty Colas or Mahan Project, any of them. We just ask. They want to teach, all of them. I've met every brewer we've met, we're lucky enough to meet so far and talk to, from even sales reps. If they have the answer, they want to help you. If they don't have the answer, they're going to try to find the answer for you. And everybody wants to okay, that's a good question. And I think that's the whole community why we are getting invested to want to be with the community and learn more and showcase the community. And that's the whole point of this. Like, I like it. I like hanging out with these people and learning new things. You know who I learned the best way to describe beer from? What's her name? Jennifer the Bearded Lady.
She's good.
She's phenomenal. She was on the podcast, and I wanted to get back on, but her first time she was on podcast, she was like, just be simple. If you think you taste chocolate, say chocolate. Think refer to what you know. And that clicked, I've said it so many times. I'm pretty sure people who listen to this hates what I keep saying this, but when she said that, it put like a light bulb in my head. It's like, why try to? I taste like a woody note. I don't know what wood tastes like, but I do know what the flavors I know. Describe it how I know it. Maybe it may sound like a kid saying it, but describe it how you see it, how you taste it.
Exactly, it's your beer.
Yeah,
it's your beer. You spent your money on it. You say what you taste in that. I mean, if it tastes like, you never know. While you may not know wood, you may say, why am I tasting like hickory smoked like barbecue? If you know that, that's what you're tasting. That's all it is. So
ever since then, I'm always like, keep it simple. If I taste something, I'm gonna try to. If I refer to myself,
right. And
I know
they've been. I mean, people like that exactly have helped me. Home brewers helped me with learning so much about it. So I just remain open.
So on that note, home brewers, what is your favorite style of beer? Because honestly, I don't know. You drink everything.
I do. So it depends on the mood. I mean, I'll usually run to stouts and porters.
I'm a man after my own heart. I love it.
So I usually run the stouts and porters. Then after that, it will either be Belgian. I can go for a wheat beer, but I can also go for a golden strong if I'm in the mood for a heavier. Or ambers. I do like red ales.
I was surprised I like red ales. But okay, so you do like it. So it's situational for you. I'm just against the grain. I'm always down for a style or good style, good porter.
Okay.
First and foremost, I'm always good for that. Everything else is secondary, and I can try whatever.
Sure.
But that's interesting.
I mean, those are the first four I'd probably run to. IPAs I have grown to appreciate because my palate. Because my palate has now kind of expected some of the bitterness. Even with the hazy ones, I like them. But now that I'm used to the bitterness, I kind of like when that bitterness is there. I'm like going, oh, okay, I can taste that. And I know what that is now. Other than just like, what is this in the back of my throat?
I'm trying to figure it out.
Right.
That's a great way to say it. I think I'm gonna steal that from you. I've grown to appreciate more styles of beer. Especially as this show's going on.
Because there's some things, and that's why I say it depends on my mood. There's sometimes when I'm in the mood for a Kolsch. I want something light. I don't really want anything heavy right now. I just want something light. Or sometimes, okay, bring it. I want a barley wine. I'm and it just depends on the mood. And there's just some things also that are not really in my wheelhouse as far as the flavor. And if it's something where it's like that, I'll just say I won't review it. I'll just say I had it. Like on Untapped.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like we talked about during the ball shift. Something interesting that is not in your wheelhouse.
Right. Yeah, not in my wheelhouse.
Doesn't have, you don't, no more, no said.
I just just put that in, and I won't even review it. That way it's not a diss against the brewer or anything like that. It wasn't in my wheelhouse, or it just for some reason didn't work with me. So.
I've been interested because I'm not a beer. I'm learning. I'm not a beer person. We never sat down and wrote an official review of beer. We review beers here. We try new stuff as much as possible.
Sure.
We say our honest opinion about it, but we never sat there and wrote it down for ourselves. It's interesting. Like I see you take some great pictures.
Thank you.
Now, if I'm mistaken, I thought it was you today who posted a picture of filling up beer bottle or video.
On Instagram. The latest picture I put up is actually of the antagonist from us. I have a picture of the antagonist bottle, but now it makes me want to pull out my phone.
No, put your phone out. No, there was but I see all these. Of course, Instagram has a lot of beer reviewers. Then you have Untapped. And then you have Pint Hub. Daniel, those guys have their own website where they review beers.
That's the latest.
That's the latest one. But I was going through your pictures. I don't know if you noticed. I tagged the later one earlier tonight, but it was this one I was looking at.
Oh, okay.
You have a great feeling for pictures. That's a great picture right there. Do you change the background, or you just find walls, different walls?
I changed the background.
Okay.
Yeah, I changed the background.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, does he have different walls he can run into?
I just change the background, and usually I try to find something that helps to pop the can of the color.
This was done. Okay, I'm gonna make sure that we can put it on the screen so they can see it too.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. There's a lot of different things you can do with beer as far as reviewing and stuff like that. But I find more appealing when you can see it.
Right.
The beer.
And again, with this whole thing with the beer tourism type thing, I'm like going, okay, if you didn't know what we do here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area as well as mid-cities and the surrounding, here's one page to say, okay, here's the beer they make. Now, if you're in a particular style, I try to put that in the hashtags. But
something I also need to learn.
but usually it's I just want you to see it. I want you to see what's available.
And I just know that I'm very superficial about things, and appearance is important to me, right? The way whiskey appears to me when I pour it is very important to me. I already judge it before I even say anything, and I think it's just human nature on a primal level to look at something by appearance and not even know what you're gonna get into.
Of course, I'm the same way. I mean, when I was listening to LPs and vinyl, I would judge the album by its cover art. I would actually judge what kind of music was going to be in there and say, that cover looks really nice. I think I'll take a chance on it versus something where the cover's kind of bland. So yeah.
LPs, yeah.
Yep.
There's a good vinyl shop in Arlington. Where is it off of? Division. I think it's off Division. It's right. God, I was killing me that I can't tell you the name of it. But it's the only one right about there, downtown, midtown, whatever you have. What they have by Cowboy Stadium, there's a vinyl shop.
I know what you're talking about. I know the area. I know like here off of Greenville is Good Records, which is owned by DeLauder, Tripping Daisy. And then
what's the name of that one again?
It's called Good Records.
Good Records.
Mm-hmm. Good Records, and then of course Off the Record, which is in Deep Ellum, they also sell vinyl in the bar along with having performances, so that's a unique experience. In fact, I think they're going to have a Fort Worth version of Off the Record soon, if it's not already open. So
nice.
Yeah.
No, that's interesting. I've been making you drag off topic away from beer, but appearance is very important, right? And I'm superficial about beer and what it looks like. But I grew up in the 90s where cassettes were a thing.
Sure.
For me. People don't know cassettes were just little smaller, not as good quality vinyls. But
unless you had a chrome cassette.
But I was poor, so I couldn't have it. But we do the same thing. So when you buy music now, or when you buy anything, do you pay attention to the same stuff? Like when I buy music now, it's easy for me to take a chance on a $1 album or $1.30 record, because I'm just gonna buy it and listen to it, versus when I was in the store buying a tape or a EP.
I mean, because like with digital music, you can't really. There's not many times they don't go into the art as much. Mm-hmm. Now I've seen some digital projects like where art books and stuff like they obviously must be putting together a vinyl release of it because they went deep into that art. Where most releases, I'm just okay.
Just like
put a picture.
Word or picture, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the song will sell you.
But I find myself when I'm very different. I don't know if it's because of the age. I'm more willing to buy like a $1 song, even if I just heard the preview of it or I barely know it. I'm like, okay, this sounds okay. I'm gonna buy it. Versus when I was buying tapes and I could buy EPs when it's only like 5 songs. I'm like, I would spend hours in the record store looking like, do I want to buy this one or do I want to buy this one?
Well, I'm curious. Do you actually buy them now? Because with so many streaming plans,
I do buy. I do my best to buy.
Okay.
I buy as many records. If I like the record, I do have I have a Pandora membership,
All right.
and then I do have a Spotify membership. So I do listen to stuff.
I mean, I appreciate supporting Music Trust.
I try to. I also do buy a lot of local. Even if I don't, the majority of local stuff I buy, I don't like them. I don't even listen to them. But I do buy them out of strength of
Supporting.
at least you're trying. Yeah, you're doing something you like, and if I like your energy, I'm buying.
See, okay, so we're gonna put local right here because I want to come back to local.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, you're
yeah.
okay, I want local. The reason why I'm saying about streaming is because while the artists do get paid on so many streams of the music, it just seems like now, if you have Pandora, if you have Spotify, Google Play, Apple Music, Tidal, it's so easy to just say the $10 a month, whatever, and yeah, the artist may get like 0.005 cents, whatever,
per stream.
Per stream, but it's almost easier now just to have that streaming service and get it. But I agree with you. I like to have the physical product when I can, especially if there's something I really hear and I really want, and I'm going, you know what? I just need that physical product.
Yeah.
And so I'll go, if I go to a show or something like that. So
I do my best to support my artists I like the most.
Gotcha.
Bet the Band Redman came out with an album. I bought that. I never forget, I spent like $50, $60. The last big release with all the pictures and behind the scenes DVD was I might say it wrong. It was Dame Dash, Black Keys, and a bunch of rappers. I think it was called Black Rock.
That sounds familiar.
And it's one of my favorite albums of all time. Just for the strength, I didn't know who the Black Keys were. I know who Dame Dash was. It had Mos Def, has Ghostface Killer on it, had the RZA, which I'm a big fan of Wu-Tang Clan.
Right.
And had a few singles on there, and it was just a good, just by the strength of the people there. And I also have my own problem with Michael, so I'm a Prince fan.
Okay. It's okay to be there's some people who are all Prince fan, some people are all Michael.
I definitely was an all Prince fan.
Okay.
There was no Michael love in my house.
No love at all.
No, it's not like. I tell the story all the time that when Michael died, I cared less. Yeah, and this is my opinion of when artists pass away is sad because you feel like you know this person. You honestly don't know that person.
Of course.
So what you love about that person, you already have access to. You play his music, you appreciate it, you could have sorrow. So sorrow was a different thing, right? But I didn't get what people felt that when Michael died because I was like, I didn't care. But then when Prince died, I was in tears and I left work.
Well, you have memories, right? I mean, their music matches with specific memories, whether you were a fan of the films or whether you're a fan of the albums or concerts or something like that. Any person's music that matches those memories,
I didn't get it.
You're going to feel that more. So for Prince, for you, that was a very deep time. I have another, one of my best friends, huge Prince fan. That was a very dark day for her when he passed away. Michael, on the other hand, was a dark day for me because, one, I saw it happen on Twitter. I saw someone say, okay, well, they rushed Michael Jackson to the hospital or something like that. And I saw this kind of unfold in front of people's eyes on Twitter long before the news media actually got a hold of it. And of course, you're hearing things like that, you're going, oh, well, is that really happening? This is not, don't play, this is not funny. Same thing with Whitney Houston, I saw it happen. And feel like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. No, this is not happening. And Michael Jackson, from a kid, I always had an affinity for these child stars. Same thing with the Jacksons, the Silvers, all of them. And so there were feelings that were matched with the music and with the sound of Michael. Now, of course, after, not History, but there was the other album that had Butterflies on it and You Rock My World. I kind of was not in Michael as much.
You Rock My World. What is that? Like 95?
This is You Rock My World. I think it was like 2000. It's like Butterflies and.
Oh, that's what he did. He did that. He came out with JT. Did he come out on MTV? He did a song ballad on MTV. I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, Because I have
Because I know JT brought him out on his concert on MTV years later, but I want to feel like young.
Justin Timberlake?
Yeah.
Brought Michael out?
Oh, Michael brought him out on that dance. I'm sorry, I had it backwards.
Oh, okay.
Like later at the maybe VH1 concert, or I know Michael had a show, and then JT was a big fan, and he brought him out to dance with him and sing with him. Like I remember that happened after that in like the mid 2000s.
Which makes sense because I think Justified came out 2004 or something like that.
Yeah, but I want to feel like they did something earlier than that, like, or maybe I'm missing JT with another singer. But I know it was another young white singer that he did something with.
It makes sense that it would have been JT.
But I'm gonna look it up because I also have bad memory, so let me be clear.
All good.
No, but I do want to say, like, I do feel bad for what I said because, again, I wasn't a big fan of Michael. So when people who had love for Michael, I was like, oh, you have his music. What do you need to know Michael for? Why do you feel sad for? You have his music. Then, of course, years later, unfortunately, Prince died. I didn't have a big love for Whitney Houston. I loved her voice. Her voice is powerful. Sure. I didn't have a deep connection with Whitney Houston as far as, like, childhood memories and things like that. And love for her music. I just loved her voice. So it was sad that she passed away. I'm also sad when Michael passed, but I didn't feel like I didn't get this thing, sadness. And then I never forget, I was sitting at work, and then one of my friends texted me. She was like, "Are you sitting down?" I'm like, "I'm at work. Why? You okay?" She was like, "Well, I just want to let you know Prince died." And it was like early in the morning, and I was like, "Okay, you're lying." And she's like, "No, he did. I'm sorry. I know you're a big fan."
Wow.
And I didn't text her back. I Googled it real quick, and it was all over like the news and stuff like that.
Wow.
And then I sat there and I had like these big, I didn't cry yet, but you know, I had those big water teary eyes. I'm like, I'm not gonna cry. Not gonna cry. Nope. So then I'm sitting there, and at the time, I managed a small team. Yeah. So I'm sitting there, and they kept asking questions. I'm like, nope. I need a second, please. And then I went, finally went to go get my manager. My manager's like, come in the office, you okay? Yeah. I was like, no, Prince just died. And I started crying in her office, and then she let me go.
I think there are opportunities, honestly, for more music, live music, in breweries as well.
I think so. It should be. I think Brewery does a good thing down the street. They do opening mics for musicians. I don't know if they extended that to musicians yet, but I know they do comics.
And they had like a certain night series or something. There was something night at Noble Ray.
Thursday nights. Thursday nights they did open mic because then the other comic clubs open up Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So they did.
I'd love to see more of that with different breweries. I think that's just an opportunity for people to kind of connect. They're already at the place. They're already drinking. And, get some kind of acoustic thing. Depending on the acoustics of the room, I wouldn't bring in like too hard of electric deal, whether it be
piano,
electropop, or whether it be like rock
just like bands. I think what I would like to see, similar to maybe to you, is just local bands. Maybe have a local band that come out on a Friday night, Saturday night.
Sure.
And they're not getting paid. You're not making anything off of them. Just come hang out. I mean, the brewery would benefit if they know the band and they're good. And they benefit for the traffic of people coming in. It's a traffic of people who get to know your name, and it's a good early access. I just would like to see more people do it, but I don't feel like, I don't know, I can't speak for local bands.
Sure.
I don't know if they come and actually look at that as an option. I don't know.
Even if they just do a small show, because I'm totally a fan of like, you come in, you're a whole band, but you're going to do an acoustic set of like 2-3 songs. That's it.
Yeah.
You just want to hit it, quit it.
Yeah.
And in that way, all you're doing is like, come in here, here's some CDs if you'd like to buy one, because you like what you hear, great. But you just want to do these 2 quick songs, 2-3 at the most.
I don't know. And this is a big assumption, a big leap for me. I think they do that in Deep Ellum. A lot of local bands look at Deep Ellum, or like the younger bands, I should say. Look at going to Deep Ellum and doing like that stuff over there, because it's like the spot to be at now. But I'm more interested as far as like places like come to Penny Colas. Talk to them. Say, hey, what do you guys? If you have any, would you mind if I set up? Maybe me and my friend play a guitar. Here's our example of our music, and talk to them. I feel like it should be a two-way street. I know, lucky enough for me, the people we've met through breweries are open to things like that.
Yeah.
If you're good, you just try to showcase your stuff.
Exactly. Just showcasing your things, and again, because that way, if 2-3 songs leaves them wanting, because I always say, leave them wanting, as opposed to like, oh, okay, you really could quit. Like
you gotta play the whole time.
You gonna play all those songs? So okay.
I feel like 2-3 songs every like you come at 5 to get the first wave of people before they go out.
Right.
And that's like a quick set, so you can still mingle, hang out. You can mingle before, during, afterwards your set. You can talk to people, maybe have some cards, and maybe definitely have your information where they can find your stuff.
Right.
And then maybe play at 8 o'clock, where it's still not too late, where you got the drunk crowd coming out later in the day, or people really trying to get hammered. Right. You got 2 sets, 2 different waves of people. You only spend a couple hours of your time.
I think that would work, But I just thought about that as you were talking about local music. I said, well, that would be a nice intersection happening with breweries. And because, I think at Four Corners is a huge space there. And they've got that whole back space. I'm like, okay, yeah.
Oh, Collins has an interesting layout for their space.
Uh-huh.
They have a more intimate space maybe where a band would be. But they definitely have that backside too.
Sure.
They have an interesting space. Martin House has a great outdoor spot in the back of their stuff.
Mm-hmm. I haven't even been out there since they've done the new tap room.
You have to. It's interesting. I appreciate the size, right? So the tap room, it's nothing. It's different from the I want to say Fort Worth tap rooms, and the way they set up is different from the Dallas side, and It's not a bad thing.
Okay.
Right? It's not a bad thing. I think Penny Colas grew into the tap room, and then Morin House wanted their tap room, and this is all assumptions here.
Okay.
But you can see that they wanted a tap room, so they made a big spot for their tap room, and then they have the parking lot where they extend for their events.
Okay.
So Martin House has their tap room that they redid. That's just nice and big, which they wanted to work on.
Sure.
And then when they have their with their releases and stuff like that, they have a venue in the back where they're to their lawn, so that they creek back there.
Oh, okay.
And they open up to there, and it's really nice. I like that the size of it, so you allow more people to come and hang out, and they get a lot of traffic. Martin House gets a lot of traffic because they do a lot of things.
Yes, they're always doing stuff.
They're always trying something new, and I don't know their list of what they're brewing. I don't know who maps this out, but they're releasing stuff like every other month, every month. No, it's every month. They're releasing new stuff. They just dropped the beer a few weeks ago.
The Coditus. I may be saying that name wrong.
I'm not even going to try.
But I definitely know it. I've heard great things.
Same here. I haven't tried it yet. I told myself I was going to buy it, and then by the time I went down to buy it, it was gone. The keg out in Richardson, it was already gone.
I'm sure. Well, I know a craft beer seller in Dallas off Gaston. They just restocked today. So
okay, I have to look it out. I definitely wanted to try it. They come out with stuff all the time, though. It's ridiculous. It's interesting, and I can see why they earn their traffic. They earn their release parties and stuff like that to have that many people to come out there.
Yeah, they have some fun stuff. Again, experimentation, kind of thing you like about Collective. Experimentation, see what works. Hey. So
I have the same love for Martin House, but I also that's my complaint with Martin House.
Because it's too much experimentation?
No, sometimes they miss wide. It's off. Sometimes there was a few bottles last year that went bad in the process of shipping. So
one thing they've done, at least I've seen them do, once again on social.
They haven't changed. Not that they haven't changed. They haven't happened since they made their change.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say.
One thing that I've seen them do on social, they've asked for anyone to reach out to them directly, and they've replaced it. I had a bottle of, no, I didn't have a bottle. I had the cans of Darkness Falls, and I was coming home with it from a Whole Foods store in Addison, and it burst.
Oh no!
I didn't even, and I said, I just wanted to get it replaced. And he said, go back to Whole Foods. If they won't replace it, we will. So I definitely can.
Similar to Gavin, I want to get Gavin back on because meeting Gavin on a personal level, he's so much funnier than when we had him on the show. Not that he wasn't pleasant, to be honest. He was super pleasant, super knowledgeable. But then he got to know us.
Sure.
And we had a nice conversation before, and then we getting followed up. We said we're gonna come by and hang out, and we came by, hung out, and just to hang out, and see his place because he'd never been. And his energy was so more himself.
Yes.
And it made me like, oh, this guy is awesome. This guy's the best.
Gavin's great.
Yeah.
Gavin's great.
This guy's the best. And he has so much knowledge that he just spews out information and it's like, oh my God.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. He's got a lot of information he can give you on the beers and different styles and stuff like that. Like, all right, you know.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy. But I think like that's why I want to do at least 3 interviews with people. I think if I'm doing this as I'm learning this process, because a lot of these people we are meeting for the first and second time, they don't really know me, and I don't really know them.
I think for me, I honestly have to say, this has been fun, just learning more about you and some like going, oh, Victor, there's layers to this.
You know what I'm learning is I think you're a better interviewer than I am. I think you're way better interviewer than I am. But what I would say is it's been interesting. I'm trying to interview you, but my questions go in and out. You're like, no, that's fine. Let's go delve deep into this conversation about you real quick.
You just open these doors. I'm like, oh, okay, we can get that.
I'm a weird guy. But
you just have a lot of stuff. And this is exciting. Yeah, this is great. This is great. There's always onions, layers.
That's all of us.
Yes.
That's all of us. So on that note, I want to finish this up on you, at least on you a little bit. I think this entire podcast episode has been me, nothing but me, about my love for Prince and music and things like that. But no. What is the beer journey? Like I heard an interesting story. My friend Jacob from Strange Brew again. He wants to take a road trip. Okay. What is something you want to do for beer? Like, would it be a road trip, or is there some like destination beer stuff you want to see?
Wow. Just myself, or just
anything? Would it be for your
TX beer? Wow. One thing I unfortunately was not able to get it to happen in time. The Fresh Beer Fest, which is happening in Pittsburgh this weekend, which would have been wonderful to go to. It's the first Black Beer Festival.
Black Beer Festival?
Yeah, it's a Black Brewers Festival that's happening in Pittsburgh.
Oh, I would love to have known about that because we were.
I learned about it. I follow the Partners Pod, and shout out to the Partners Pod in Pittsburgh, and fantastic podcast. But I was behind on a few episodes, just doing some other stuff, and then all of a sudden I started seeing this thing about Fresh Beer Fest coming out. I said, what is this? And I learned about it. I was like, oh, that's happening. So it's happening on August 11th in Pittsburgh.
Oh no, that's this weekend.
Yeah. And I know Barrett Tillman will be there with Black Man Brew and some other. So it's going to be a fun time. They're doing some special interviews. And I'm like, oh man.
I try to find. So maybe there's another question for you. How can we find out about more beer events? Because Facebook is not easy to navigate for beer events.
Right. One thing. Again, this starts going into some Twitter stuff. If you are on Facebook. A huge shout out to Brian Brown with Beer and Big D.
Okay.
He puts out a weekly listing of beer-related events every Monday. He puts it out.
Perfect. What's that one again?
It's Beer and Big D.
Beer and Big D.
You can find him on Facebook, or you can find him on Twitter.
Okay.
And I usually just retweet with something just because that's just a weekly calendar. And it really is just a weekly calendar of what's going on in beer events. Now, of course, there may be like little things, little one-offs here and there. And usually with that, I'll tweet some things out, or Bill with Dallas Beer Club will tweet some things out. Sean will push a few things extra out. And so it's just a matter of following a few accounts on Facebook or on Twitter. If you just want the details, Twitter. If you want a little bit more in depth, probably Facebook.
Yeah, maybe we have to be on Twitter, because what I want to do, what I would love for us to be able to, not that we can't do it, is that we find about these stuff too late. My co-host has a family.
Sure.
So he can't just get up and leave and not say, hey family, I know I told you I'd be with you, but I gotta go leave.
Even if you had previous plans, like say you didn't have a family, but you just had previous plans with friends, you can't just up and go somewhere, right? So sometimes it's just nice to know or have a head advance and say, okay, here's my plan, here's what we'll do.
Yeah.
You know, GABF. The ping pongs are falling. Yes.
Yeah. They're trying to play.
And fit. And with that, the GABF. And so the Great American Beer Festival this will be my first year getting a chance to go to that in Denver this year.
Oh, nice.
So that's going to happen the 20th through the 22nd. I believe tickets are still available for that. Oh, also the Texas Craft Beer Festival, which is the weekend after Great American Beer Festival. So in Austin. That's happening in Austin. That's the 28th, 29th, I believe. It's a Friday and Saturday.
See, I didn't know about that one.
So the Texas Craft Brewers Festival. Yes.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. There's another one coming out in, I saw in Dallas in October or September, like a big beer fest coming out here. But that's the only one I knew of.
Oh yeah, that's the North Texas Beer Week.
Okay.
Yes, North Texas Beer Week, and that usually always happens around the first week of November.
Okay.
That's Matt Dixon and company. Yes.
Perfect. So that's perfect. We learned a lot about me this episode. But
Which is great. I personally enjoyed
I do
this.
appreciate the interview. If you learn about me, no. But I would love to go to another spot.
Okay.
Maybe a brewery that you want me to check out, or vice versa. And then we could interview some of the beers there, and then we get to know more about you next time.
Okay.
But this is the plan I want for all my future guests, and anybody who wants to come on the show, potentially minimum twice.
All right.
But as many times, this point is hanging out with people. I want everybody to come multiple times, as many times they want to, as many times we want to hang out. But I think the problem with the first time is we're learning about each other, and then the second time will be more friendly.
Well, it's all good.
This was friendly.
I appreciate it. Victor, thank you so very much for the opportunity
thank you.
to one, just to get a chance to talk with you and learn in doing this. This is great. Thank you very much.
This is very fun, and thank you for interviewing me. I appreciate that. I appreciate it, brother. We're gonna do this again. We're gonna give a hug off the camera because we can't. The table's in our way.
Indeed.
And one thing we did. I want to leave on this note. One thing we did learn about each other. We're both huggers.
Yes, true. It's true. It's true.
So
the handshake maybe at first if we had to do that, but after that, hugs.
it's all hugs. So I want to say, everybody, thank you for watching. It's been a lot of fun. Everybody have a fun and friendly weekend. I can speak English sometimes too. And there's the ball.
And there's another ball. Yeah.
Peace.
We gotta do some ping pong lessons here. That's all good.
Bye. Appreciate it.